Hey everyone, welcome back to Friday Crypto. Happy Monday. My name is Chase. Today we're going to look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the market mover. Bitcoin is important whether or not you have it. You need to pay attention to Bitcoin because what it does, the rest of the market tends to do, at least a little bit. So we're going to look at Bitcoin today on 5 or 6 different charts. So if you like everything you see, give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Twitter, Telegram, and Patreon. Everything linked down below. We're going to start off with the Gaussian channel. Why? Because it tends to be a great heads up for the foreshadowing for the next, several days, several weeks, several months to the future. Look at where we've been. What do we want to do? We need to break out to the top of this channel and not only break out of it like we did back here, but we need to have, let's get 2 consecutive green candles. We haven't been able to do that. So we got out of it here. We tried to get out of it in August, early August, right? Green candle and then a red candle back in. Then a green candle back out and then a red candle back in. Even though we close out here, it goes green, red, green, red, green, red. We got to get 2 greens and we got to separate out of this channel. The longer we stay in here, the more dangerous we're getting, right? We need to close not only above this channel, but pull away from it. And then we can get more macro term trend bullish to the upside. So we've tested our median line. We're now making our way back up. So far, we're holding resistance at this top line 5-day Gaussian channel. Look at the wick. It's perfectly at the top of this. Look at this wick. It's perfectly on the median line. These are important levels. Once Bitcoin closes above this top line, just above 49K, right? As you can see, if we close above this, right, we've done it before. We need to close above it with a 5-day candle and then close another 5-day candle green to the upside. We got to break the pattern and we got to get out of it. Going back in history, once we start doing that, it tends to be good, right? You want your channel to be green. You want price action on top. You want to be holding support on the top line, not come back in it, and then you can get, moving off to the races. All right, next chart. Let's see what we got. On a weekly scale for Bitcoin USD, this is our 21-week EMA. This is kind of your bull market, bullish, bearish, above it, below it. So 21-week EMA, holding above it. We closed, this is last week's candle right here. We not only closed above the 21-week, but we also closed above the 8-week. Why does the 8-week matter? Well, the last bull run, or the last leg up, I should say, right? The last move when we went from, 10K to 64K. Remember that fantasticness? Well, look at what we did. We held above the 21-week after testing it for a while, got above the 8-week, and then we didn't go below the 8-week until when? Catastrophe was just ahead, wasn't it? So let's watch the 8-week this time, and hopefully we get a repeat, right? Let's look at where we're doing. Look at this move right here. We got above it a little bit, came back down to it. Did we do that at all before we kicked off our bull run? Yes. Look back here, right? So are we in one of these moves? I think so. I don't know if we're in this move and we're going to do this, or we're right here. But look at the similarities. You can see right here, right? You got your move up, you come back down underneath the 8-week. You're still holding support on the 21-week, right? Looks very similar. Get buck above 2, come back down below the 8-week, holding support at the 21-week. So do we have this coming or do we have this coming? Hopefully one or the other. I'll take either, right? We can get a little bit bullish. Maybe we go like, somewhere up to 55, 60K, come back down a little bit, and then, then make our move, right? Maybe we're right in here. Maybe we're right in here. We don't try to guess of what's the future is going to hold. We just look at the charts, try to interpret that data for you, and help you become a better trader. So that's what I'm looking for on a weekly chart. Let's get above both of these closed candles, and then maybe we can get moving. But as you can see, it can take some time. These are weekly candles. So if we're in, this kind of move, we could have some time to go. If we're in this move, maybe we're getting ready to go here, right? We could very well be in this candle. Look at the dates. This was almost a year ago exactly. This is last October right here. Look at where we are now. Looking pretty similar to me. But like I said, we could be here. We could have some more time. We could have another couple months of building strength, which would be okay, right? The longer we can take and build a solid foundation, the better our move is going to be. We'll all be very happy in the not so distant future. I do believe it. All right, let's see what else we got. We got on the daily chart, a little bit shorter time frame. We have our golden cross that has just occurred, right? Your 50-day simple moving average crossing the 200-day simple moving average. Price action is above our 200. which is great. And we have the bullish golden cross. That doesn't mean prices go up as soon as you get to golden cross. Case in point, right? Most times any coin gets a golden cross, price action in the short term tends to fall a little bit, which we've done here. You can go back and look at Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever your favorite coin is. More than likely, when you got your golden cross, prices didn't immediately explode, but that's the catalyst that you need to get the fire going, to get to the upside. You want your price action above your 200-day simple moving average, and you want to catch your breath. And you want to have your golden cross and your price action above your 200-day. Then the primer is set. You're ready to go. Are we ready to go? Time will tell, but we're holding above the 50. That's another good sign. So let's continue to do that. What do we want to see in the not so distant future? Well, we're getting it right now. First of all, see this kind of top right here? This is what we want to be looking for. Little things like this. See this kind of a breakout zone, right? Resistance. Fell down below it, came back up, resistance, resistance, resistance. Hopefully today we can close above it. If we do close above it, what's our next target? I'm glad you asked. Right here, our previous local high, which we did right back in early September. If we break that, then in my opinion, we're off to the races. This is my final level. If we see us closing like daily, weekly candles above 53K or higher, it's go time, in my opinion. That's plain and simple. I just end the sentence there. It's go time, 53K or above. Let's go. All right. So one, check mark. What do you want to do? We got to close above this. Hold it as support, right? We don't want to get above it and this be another wick, right? We did that yesterday. We wicked up to almost, just above 49K, then push back down. So this could still end up being a wick today. We'll see in 7 hours from now, 7.5 hours. If we close this candle, we're doing things we haven't done since early September. So let's get going. If we start doing this and closing above and start building, it's highly likely we're going to this level. Plain and simple. Now, will we get rejected at that level? Let's sure shit hope not. We want to break that. And if we break 53K, CK, that's my initials, CK, they say, CK says higher. That didn't work out well on the rhymes. All right, RSI Bitcoin. What do we got? Daily. Look at our trends, right? Downtrends is met with a clear and concise break to the upside. So let's hope we do something like that again. Look at the RSI right now. We're peeking through, but guess what? We've peeked through before, right? We poked our head up, didn't like what we saw, and back down. So what do we want to do? We want to peek our head up, lift our body up, and then hold support on this line. So if you want to see what that might look like, right? We want to see something like this. We could just, that'd be fine with me. We can do that and Bitcoin could explode, but more likely we're going to need some time. And say if we come back down, we don't want to go back down like this, right? We want to hold and bounce and continue making higher highs and higher lows. That's is what you'd want to look for. A breakout just like this before, right? The downtrend breaks and then you're in a new trend. And then we hopefully don't repeat another downtrend, right? We want to break in. Let's do a macro level uptrend for a change. Thanks, Bitcoin. All right, what else we got? Bollinger Bands. How do those help us? Well, they tell you volatility on the weekly scale. We're looking at a weekly chart again. So this is our peak back in May, right? This is all of year. We got the 65K from 10K. Look at the price action. Notice this. And you might say, well, look how narrow these lines were. Well, that's true. They are more narrow. And usually you get your explosive moves as these are narrow. You could see the price action, coming up here. But that's primarily because we're not on log scale. And you can see why in a second why I don't like log scale on Bollinger Bands is because it skews a lot of this. But to illustrate the difference in the bands, this looks a lot less severe than when you take it off, right? See how wide this looks? Log scale kind of incorporates everything the same, but Bollinger Bands don't tend to work that well. So if you're using Bollinger Bands, I would suggest taking off log scale if you're even using log scale to begin with. But so log scale, if you don't know about log scale, it just helps everything look, you can get more data on the same chart, right? So if you're using log scale, look at how narrow this is. So every candle is kind of the same weight. So a 30% candle back here will be the same as 30% candle here, versus if you take it off, it's a linear scale, and then you can have candles get deceptive on you. So I would suggest log scale except for Bollinger Bands. Okay, so now what are we doing? Well, do I like what I see? I do. Why? I'm glad you asked. We've came down to the bottom of the band, and then we fought back to the upside. Usually these will act like kind of like a let's say a ping pong ball, right? Or pong, right? So you bounce off of one, you're usually going to go to the other. If not, you're at least going to interact with this median line. What you want to do is not get a rejection, right? It would have been real bearish here if Bitcoin got rejected at this median line and came back down. That would have been bad. But what did we do? We got above it, started holding it, and now we're fighting to get back to that upside again. What I like is that we're holding support here on a weekly scale. The bigger the scale, the better. So now we're lifting off again. We want to get price action towards the top of this band, which back in here, right? We want to do that. And what else do we want? We want this bottom line to go down. Why? Well, you want them diverging from each other. You want the mouth to open. See how this opens? The mouth is diverging. You want your price action on top of the median. Random phantom lines just appearing on your chart in the middle of it for no reason. All right. So that's what I'm looking for. We want to get a pickup from this, take out this local high, the mouth opening, and then we're set to explode. If you see this bottom line start coming down and price continuing to rise, we're getting ready to go. Believe me. All right, what else we got? The phantom lines are back. No, these, I actually drew these. This is on the daily. Yeah, the daily charts. We've already talked about this. If you need a recap, it's right here. We break this level, we go to this level. We break this level, we're going to all-time highs, in my opinion. All right, let's see. Final chart for Bitcoin, the monthly scale. So going back, this is our 21-month EMA. As you can see, when you're below the 21-month EMA, it's usually a good time to be buying, right? These are historically pretty good prices to be owning Bitcoin for. But my point is, we're still bullish. Why? Well, this was the bear market here. This was the pandemic drop here. Those are cataclysmic drops, right? This was the last bear market, the start of the last bear market. Now, a lot of people think that we're in something like this and we're going to be going lower prices. But I ask you this, does the current situation here really look a lot like this? At first glance, maybe you could maybe fight for each side, but in my opinion, they're a little bit different. Why? Well, first and foremost, look at this drop here, and we came up. This is a dead cat bounce. A lot of people think we might be in the dead cat bounce. Dead cat bounces usually aren't typically, 7 months or 6 months after the initial drop, right? After the peak. They're usually pretty quick, like this, right? Yeah, these are monthly candles now, right? These are monthly. So we had our December 17 peak, right, at 20K. We came back down. Look, within like basically a month, we went from 20K down to 6,000 or a little bit less than 6K. Then we came all the way back up, basically for no reason. That's a dead cat bounce. That kind of movement like that, and then you just fizzle back out again, right? Look what we did here. We can zoom in here. We went to our 64K top. We came back down. We came back up. This would have been ideal dead cat bounce, in my opinion, is to kind of failed rally here. Maybe you could even have this and then go back down. But to start putting in higher lows like this, and not only higher lows, higher highs. Look at these wicks. This is, as Ben Cowan once said, if this is a dead cat bounce, the cat's made of rubber. So it's pretty funny because this is not really looking all that much like a dead cat bounce to me. On a monthly scale, it's pretty rare to have a 6-month dead cat bounce. In my opinion, I don't think it is. I think we're going much higher in the not so distant future. Now, does that mean tomorrow we can't go to 40K or 30K again? Of course not. But I think that over the next coming months through 2022, I think we will see all-time highs again. And not only that, I think we'll be well on our way to 100K in the next, 3-6 months, whatever it might be. We could go back down, test the monthly moving average again down to 30K. But what else I like here, and more case for the bulls here, is that look at the 21-month EMA coming up again. Did we do anything like that back in here? No, we kind of leveled off and just kind of tapered off, right? But macro term, the 21-month EMA, it just generally trends up. So historically, if you were to just buy Bitcoin and hold it for 3 years, you'd never be down, ever. So no matter what price you bought, if you're holding for 3 years, time in the market beats timing the market almost always. Just hold is your best case scenario to not lose money. So you shouldn't be even investing in crypto or anything unless you can live without your money for, 1 to 3 years. I would say minimum 1 year, and I would have a 3-year outlook. If you can't, leave your money in the market for 1 to 3 years, then you're probably investing too much. Okay, plain and simple. We'll have a little tangent there. So my overall outlook is that we are going up. What do we want to look for? Well, we've already looked at the levels for the daily, but all we have to do on a monthly scale is break this candle. That candle closed at 58.8. So if you see us on a monthly scale, October, November, whatever it is, December, January, any month, we're closing at 59K or higher, it's go time. We're starting our next rally. That's my opinion, not financial advice. So do your own research, invest what you want, lose what you want, gain what the market. I don't know where I'm going with that. But my opinion is 59K monthly close, game over to the upside. All right. Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Let's get on it. What are we at? We're at 54. So we're back at neutral over the weekend. Last week, right? We're at fear, extreme fear. Made a nice little recovery. Bitcoin's up and down. It's going to get volatile. It's going to be an exciting week. We could be at 50K. We could be at 55K at the end of this week. We could be at 45K, 40K at the end of this week. I think we're going to see some crazy price action, and today's no exception, right? I started making this video. I think we're at like 47, went up $1,000 in minutes. I think it's like 15 minutes. When I started charting this out, Bitcoin was up 1,000 by the time I hit play. All right, so watch this. What do I like? Well, see back here? We made a 53. What do you think this high is? 54. That's a good sign. We're making a higher high. The odds, all you have in crypto is the odds. You got to play the odds. Nothing's for certain, but the odds are we're going higher on this. So right now we're still at 54. Tomorrow, obviously it's going to depend on what prices do, but we want to maintain above 49 to not make a lower low. And we've already made a higher high. So we want to make a higher high and continue building like we did back in here. And then we're off to the races. Plain and simple. The structure on the Fear and Greed Index can help you greatly. So we've been in extreme fear. Now we're back in neutral. I would bet we're going back to greed. The odds are we're going back to greed before anything else. Let's see. All right, quote of the day. The greatest use of a life is to spend it on something that will outlast it. So I interpret that as to leave the earth better than when you got here. Give somebody something that will help them the rest of their lives. That's what I'm trying to do. Trying to help you guys. What else we got? Crypto meme of the day. You might have to pause this. I'm not reading it. Pretty good though. All right, car of the day. Ferrari Roma. Brand new 2021. Pretty cool. Probably I think it's the cheapest. When I say cheapest, still like over $250,000, but it's the cheapest new Ferrari you can get. So if you're on a budget, you only got $250 to spend, you can get a brand new Ferrari. Ferrari Roma, pretty nice. Look at the door handles. They're all flush. A lot of manufacturers are doing that now, making the flush door handles. Looks a little bit more modern. I like how the minimalist taillights here. Just the line kind of wraps right into the spoiler. Pretty sweet. You got the quad exhaust. All this is in carbon. Very nice. Carbon side skirts. I got another view for you. Here's a red. What else do we notice about this car? Anything? Yeah. I like the color match grille. It kind of just blends in with it. That's pretty cool. I like the little touches like this. The little red in the front. This is all carbon under here in the black. That's carbon fiber. We got carbon fiber side skirts. Pretty sweet. I don't know what this is though. Do you think it's do you think that's on the thing, or do you think it's like a reflection? I haven't figured that out. I've been trying to figure it out. That's the shield, obviously. Yellow brakes. I love that. Pretty nice looking. Nice modern headlights. All right, I'll leave it at that. Happy Bitcoin Day. Happy Monday. Don't lose sight. If you're getting frustrated day-to-day prices, just zoom out a little bit more, or take a break. Take a few hours off. Don't check your phone every 5 seconds. You'll make it. You'll still make it. All right. Have a good one. Hit the like button if you haven't already. I got a salmon color shirt. It's not red. The car's red. See, it's not red. All right. I don't know where I'm going. Have a good one. We're almost at 20 minutes. Should we go to 20 minutes? Got a little buzz cut. I don't know which way to go. The camera's opposite. It confuses me. All right. I'll see you on the next video. We're ending it at 20 minutes right now.